Right now, across the corporate world, high-performing professionals are quietly panicking. They're deeply worried about their relevance. This chart shows a massive spike in CEO AI investment, alongside a plunge in executive confidence. EY reports that 70% of Indian CEOs plan to increase spending on AI, and 71% are accelerating their Gen AI investments. Gen AI, or Generative Artificial Intelligence, refers to models that can create new content, like text, code, or images, based on learned patterns. The fear driving these numbers has nothing to do with the software itself. These leaders are terrified of losing their status in their own industry. The current race to adopt these tools is largely a desperate scramble to hold on to competitive advantage, rather than a push for pure innovation. The traditional leadership ego relied on a specific set of shields. You were the expert. You knew more than your team. Your experience and title gave authority. Mindset expert Sohail Ahmed argues that AI functions as an uncomfortable psychological mirror for the executive ego. When machines produce answers instantly, the old metric of value disappears. If your primary contribution was acting as a database of information, your title no longer protects you. The sheer speed of this output forces a hard question. What is the leader's actual value now that information is cheap? Machine intelligence acts as a stress test for authority, uncovering the fragility of leaders whose primary value was their proximity to data. Approached with discipline, AI functions as a highly structured force multiplier rather than a source of professional dread. A force multiplier means you use the tool to sharpen human decision-making rather than letting it replace the human making the decision. A weak leader chases the hype. A smart leader stops and asks, what should this tool do for me, and what must remain human? True technological advantage comes from intentional integration and rigorously questioning the output, not from panicked adoption. The 4A lens provides a framework to organize this integration without getting overwhelmed. The first A stands for accelerating routine work. The second A is amplifying insight. This means using the system to process massive amounts of data far faster than any human team could manage. The framework is completed by aligning teams and creating a shared awareness of patterns and blind spots. Utilizing the 4A lens frees executives from the weeds of low-value work, elevating them to focus entirely on the bigger picture. There is an absolute uncrossable limitation in the executive sphere. AI can generate options and see patterns, but it cannot own the consequences of a decision. Outsourcing your judgment to a model is dangerous. If you do this, you do not become more advanced. You become dependent, which is a cowardly abdication of your duty. Utilizing machine speed without applying human judgment only results in accelerated confusion. Infinite, cheap digital intelligence has elevated uniquely human traits into a premium currency. A computer program can detect patterns, but it cannot feel a room. A human leader requires empathy to know when a team is tired, afraid, or silently disengaging. An algorithm can tell you what is most efficient. It requires a human's ethical judgment to determine what is actually right, not just what works. These systems simply recombine past data that already exists. A human uses creativity to imagine what does not yet exist. A model can support a decision with data, but it takes strategic courage to make a final call under pressure without having perfect data. Machines process information. Only humans have the capacity to carry the weight of true responsibility. Modern executive confidence stems from human discipline and steady emotional leadership, rather than technical performance theater. The leaders who will win this decade must know exactly how to think with these tools without surrendering themselves to them. Technology's role is simply to scale intelligence. It remains the sole vital duty of leadership to scale wisdom. You can build your roadmap for this transition by subscribing to the Confidence Compass newsletter. Follow Sohail Ahmed on LinkedIn to join his mission of making humans more humane in a technology-driven world. The coming years will distinguish the leaders who act with human courage from those who retreat into machine efficiency.